What's up everyone, welcome back to this channel, and in this video we're gonna talk about how to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars simply by avoiding stupid advice that you get online. Advice that gets most people wrecked, like for example, buy the dip, HODL, DCA, 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, and we're all gonna make it, and more. This is all stupid advice, and I want to show you why and how to avoid it in order to be better than most of the people which listen to that stuff and then they end up losing money. Maybe even you lost money by listening to such advice. But that's why I'm here, so you don't fall for this stuff again. Now, get your coffee and let's go. Alright, as you know, I love diagrams, so I've prepared a diagram to bring the point home. So let's go through it. We have on this side crypto wisdom hidden behind this element here, and then we're gonna look at some charts and explain fully why this advice usually wrecks people. Let's go top down. First crypto wisdom that usually wrecks people is that you should be DCAing into an asset. Now, listen, I think DCA is an okay strategy, but most people do it wrong and that's why they still lose money. Let me explain why DCA usually still wrecks people, although it might be a good idea if you do it right, but most people don't do it right, which is why I also want to talk about how to avoid these issues. But check this out. Look at this chart. This is the previous bull market. Now, if you were DCAing all the way up here, buying the dips and everything, right? You would have DCA'd at certain points in time, definitely also at the top, by the way. And then you would have also DCA'd all the way down. But the problem is that the DCA strategy, I don't think it's a strategy because it doesn't have a sell signal. It doesn't get you out of the market. So you can still lose. Here it was 75% of the purchasing power. Now at the bottom where it felt the most horrific, the DCA strategy didn't really have a benefit, right? Because only this position here was in profit and everything else was fully negative, right? So how does the DCA strategy help you to protect purchasing power so you can buy more stuff while the prices are cheap, right? Because when the bear market hits, then usually also you have cheaper asset prices, you have cheaper loans, and all these things are not in your favor if you just simply DCA, right? This is why I believe that DCA is a bad advice and people usually get wrecked by following that. So keep that in mind and also make sure to subscribe because I will release a video about purchasing power, which will definitely change your life forever. If you still want to DCA, even though I'm telling you it's a bad idea, then at least please also start selling on the way down, right? So you buy on the way in a dollar cost average manner, and then you also dollar cost average your way out of the asset. Otherwise, you will go down with the asset. And if that asset is not Bitcoin, is some kind of weird coin that goes to zero, then your investment will also go to zero. So take care. All right, let's go to the next advice that is wrecking people, which is buy the dip. And buy the dip is so common. Everybody on the internet, especially in the bull market, of course, they're talking about buying the dip. And while that can work out quite nicely sometimes, most of the times it will wreck you because you buy this dip, you feel happy, you're cool. You buy this dip, you feel happy, wow, let's go. And then you also buy this dip, right? And then where do you end up? Here on the bottom. You might even buy this dip and you have to wait forever to get back to break even. Well, sure, you don't have to go there, you're somewhere in the middle, right? You have to wait until here to break even, and again, your purchasing power is diminished. So during this whole time here, your bank, your money is locked up and you cannot do anything with it because instead of converting it to another asset, even dollars, honestly, that you can do something with, you can buy land, you can buy apartments, you can even buy cars or whatever you want, you have to lock up your money now and you have to wait for it to recover to break even, right? So buying the dip is not a good strategy because, again, if an asset goes to zero, similar to the DCA issue, then your portfolio also goes to zero because you keep buying the dip until it goes to zero and you are a bag holder. So this advice is really ultra bad and I want you to avoid it. So don't buy the dip just because it is a dip. It can keep dipping forever and then you will again become a bag holder and lose money. So make sure to also use other indicators to tell you, are we still in a bull market? Are we still in an uptrend? Then buying the dip is okay. But what if you buy the dip and then the trend turns around into a downtrend? Then you need to have a signal for selling. Otherwise, you will be buying the dip forever and then you become a bag holder. All right, let's go to the next advice that wrecks people, which is none other than diamond hands. You should not sell your crypto. You should better diamond hand it because then you are real strong, and then you prove your worth to the community because you're not selling, so you become one of them, right? Diamond hands is awesome because diamonds and because hands and because, well, diamond hands is one of those things that is ultra stupid advice and got many people ultra wrecked, okay? Maybe even yourself, because why would I diamond hand anything if it goes to zero or I detect a downtrend? Then I go out and I exchange this asset for this other asset that doesn't go down or that stays stable, right? For an amount of time that makes sense. Why would I diamond hand even Bitcoin? Because I would lose purchasing power, all right? The same idea as before. Why would I hold Bitcoin to have a minus 75% on my portfolio? Even if I believe in Bitcoin and I love it and all these things, I still do not tolerate in my own personal portfolio to lose 75% purchasing power, all right? Because it's good to have money when other people don't have money, because then assets are cheap, as I mentioned before. Now, why would I like to take that hit? I really don't understand, and I want you to also think about this and make sure that you don't fall for these stupid narratives that make you to be part of a cult. Even Bitcoin, whichever asset it is, do not be part of a cult, all right? Make sure to get out and to put your money in a safe place. So diamond handing is definitely bad advice, and you should never ever do that. Instead, you should better think about which asset to exchange for which other asset. There is always a bull market somewhere, right? So if crypto is falling, then something else is going up, or at least it stays stable, right? So put your money there and do not lose purchasing power. The next advice that gets people wrecked is something that you start hearing in the full bull market. It's not yet out there, but depends when you watch this video, you might hear it everywhere on Twitter and social media, which is that we all gonna make it. But listen, we cannot all make it because most people lose money, right? 95% of all crypto investors, they end up losing money. So how is that we're all gonna make it in any form or shape? Because most people don't have the education on how to invest, how to take profit, how to reduce risk, which is also why you should be subscribed to this channel, because that's exactly what I'm sharing here. We're all gonna make it is again some cultish behavior where you join these people because they make you feel good. They say, we're all gonna make it. You also gonna make it. Well, you might make it if you watch this channel and you understand that you need to also sell your assets and bring them to safety. And safety can mean that you put them into dollars. Yes, dollars are evil, fiat money is evil, yes, but for a short amount of time, meaning a year or 1.5 years, dollars could be better for your portfolio, right? Because you have more purchasing power. What is worse, losing 10% in inflation or losing 75% when hodling Bitcoin? And now tell me again that we're all gonna make it. Because most people, they don't even understand this simple fact, which is again why I'm sharing it with you right here. My advice is to not believe in the fact that we're all gonna make it, because the world is not made in such a way, especially not the financial world. So if you wanna be better than the 95 that are losing money in the markets, then you have to be different. So you're gonna make it, and the other people who are not prepared, not educated, they will not make it. And that is the truth that nobody talks about. Let's go to the next bullet point. We have another one that wrecks people's minds, and that is that Bitcoin will be money, and we're gonna use Bitcoin to buy things, and we don't have to exchange it to dollars or whichever fiat currency, because we can use Bitcoin as the currency to buy assets and goods. And listen, Bitcoin might be money at some point, but who cares? By that time, you will have already accumulated massive amount of assets, which you can then trade into Bitcoin, and then you can use it as money. But at that time, everybody will have Bitcoin anyway, because otherwise it wouldn't be money, right? And even if it's not money, it doesn't make any difference, okay? The whole point is to think about which asset is stable and which asset is going up. You should be in either of those. You should never be in assets that go down. So whatever narrative you hear on the internet that Bitcoin is money or Bitcoin is something else, I will show you the next one very soon. It doesn't matter, because you always have to be in an asset that is either stable or an asset that grows in value, and that's it. And the last one, it is 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. Wow, I love this one because it's so simple. It is like E equals MC squared. It sounds simple and it sounds magical, and it doesn't help absolutely nobody. I mean, what can you do with this formula, 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, other than thinking that, hey, wait a minute, I should just hodl my Bitcoin. It's for sure the best thing to do, similar to the other things here that are kind of making you holding on without thinking too much about your investment. So 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. If I hear anyone saying that, immediately unfollow. That doesn't add any value whatsoever. Especially those people never went to school, it seems, because there is no mathematics in this whatsoever. It doesn't help. It enforces the wrong mentality and it turns off your brain. So definitely, if you see this, run away. Okay, but you might ask yourself, Michael, listen, I'm listening to this advice on the internet because I need some strategy. I want to understand when I should be buying and what I should be buying. And I use this to cope with the volatility of the market. What else should I be doing, Michael? Because I have no other idea. In my opinion, this is the whole point of this channel, is to educate you that you need to have a strategy, any strategy that you think is cool, that tells you when to get into an asset and when to get out of an asset. Is very simple, okay? So instead of believing in all of this crap here, that doesn't help at all. I mean, actually it helps only to get in, but you will never get out. It's like Hotel California, right? You can check out, but you can never leave, all right? But you can never leave. So this whole thing here is a death spiral, which you have to avoid. Now, the way to get out of that death spiral is to have a strategy. And I just give you one example on how this could look like. So you can have an indicator on your chart of the asset that you care about. In this case, this is Bitcoin on the 1-day chart. And you can have like a green line telling you, listen, this is going up. And then you have the red line telling you, listen, you should be maybe selling this asset because it goes down. And as you can see here, this would have saved you from losing massive amount of purchasing power in Bitcoin. I'm not saying you have to use this one, but get your strategy in order, find one, get yourself some education to make sure that you are in the market when it's green, you are out of the market when it's red. I mean, this small red dip here doesn't really matter, okay? But you want to avoid this massive dumps here, and you want to be in different assets that are either stable or that are going up. That's the only thing you're allowed to do. And in order to have that and to know when to get in and out and in which asset to get in and out, you need to have a strategy. And I'm telling you, if you don't have a strategy, you will fall for all of these things and more. The internet is very creative and they will come up with even more things that don't make any sense. And all of them have the same goal: to make you stay in the market, stay in the asset, never get out and never leave our project, never sell our project, because if you sell the project, then you are a non-believer and you're evil and all these things. I can assure you no real investor is ever married to any kind of investment, okay? And anything that will lead you to become married and get stuck with any asset, like these things here, and even more than that, right? Those are to be avoided. And you have to run away as fast as possible, because that's not good for you. It's good for them, but it's not good for you. And again, this is not information that people are usually sharing, because again, either they don't know or they don't want to get into this educational aspect that I want to get into. But yeah, make sure that you get your education, you get your strategy, you know, you open your eyes, you open your mind, and you understand that these are the reasons why people get wrecked and you can avoid them. And yes, I do have an educational program. There is a link down below, but listen, don't click on it. It doesn't matter. Just watch my channel. I will share with you everything I know. The only thing I cannot share with you, of course, are the trading signals from my strategies. But if you follow me on Twitter, you watch my YouTube videos, I will share some of the signals, maybe not in real time. So you don't have to pay absolutely anything in order to get the value from my strategies, right? So just make sure to follow me on Twitter, because that's where I post these signals the fastest. All right, I hope this video helped you to open your mind and to understand that usual crypto wisdom that you find on the internet is made to wreck you and not to help you. The only thing that helps you is having a strategy and getting some education. It doesn't have to take long, but if you don't have it, then you will lose against people who do have it. And if you want to continue on this path, then watch this video where I show you a few strategies that actually work very well and they are fully free to use. Also watch this video where I'm talking about the 5 biggest mistakes people make in trading. And I see you over there. Cheers.